Yeah. The record store basement smells like dust and decay. I'm flipping through the crates on a Saturday, looking for that break, that loop, that hidden gem, that so the world forgot that I resurrect again. The needle drops on the record from 73, a string section, weeping in the minor key. I chop it, I flip it, I stretch it, I bend. The sample is a spirit that I'm trying to mend. The producer is a medium, the MPC is the board. I channel voices from the past that can't be ignored. The drummer who died young, the singer who quit. They speak through my speakers, they refuse to submit to the silence, to the grave, to the dust on the shelf. The sample of the soul is the only wealth that matters in the studio, that matters in the mix. The sample of the soul is the only fix. The crate is a coffin, the record is a ghost. The sample of the soul is the only host. For the spirits that linger in the grooves and the cracks, for the voices that whisper when the needle tracks across the surface, across the years. The sample of the soul is the only tears that the dead can cry, that the gone can shed. The sample of the soul is the only thread that connects the now to the then, the here to the there. The sample of the soul is the only prayer that gets answered in the studio, in the dark. The sample of the soul is the only spark that lights the beat, that lights the track. The sample of the soul is the only pack of cigarettes that the ghost still smokes. The sample of the soul is the only note. In the second chance, we get a second chance. The needle skips, is the only beats. I found a record by a group called The Moments. The singer's voice was a broken monument to a love that didn't last, to a dream that died. I sampled the heartbreak, I sampled the pride that comes from surviving, from making it through. The sample of the soul is the only clue to what they felt, to what they knew. The sample of the soul is the only truth connection to the ones who came before. The sample of the soul is the only door that opens to the past, that opens to the pain. The sample of the soul is the only chain that links us to the history, that links us to the sound. The sample of the soul is the only ground. So I build a beat around the ghost in the groove. The sample of the soul is the only move that matters in the game, that matters in the trade. The sample of the soul is the only blade that cuts through the fake, that cuts through the noise. The sample of the soul is the only voice that speaks for the dead, that speaks for the gone. The sample of the soul is the only song that lasts, that endures, that transcends the crate. The sample of the soul is the only fate that matters in the end, that matters in the mix. The sample of the soul is the only fix. In the crates, Sam, in the crates. The spirit never waits. The spirit never waits. The sample of the soul, what the dead forgot. The sample of the soul, giving what they got. The record stops, but the sample of the soul never drops. Never drops.